said you're a leave Chuck alone.
Yeah.
He didn't
and you said that you're a flight attendant, big old feminist.
Yeah.
And you said, I promise I'll come in guns blazing.
Yeah.
Well, you can't rage quit if you're going to come in guns blazing. Guns blazing, you got to stay till the very end.
Do I have to?
Pretty much. Anyways, you said women shouldn't be drafted because the Equal Rights Amendment still hasn't been passed.
Exactly.
And women aren't constitutionally, equal to men.
Yes. This is the stuff I wanted to talk about.
Sure. So why don't we dive into that? So your position is women shouldn't be drafted. You're a feminist, though. I assume you believe in equality?
Yes.
So how do you reconcile being a feminist and believing in equality, but being in favor of inequality when it comes to selective service?
Because the Equal Rights Amendment has not yet passed, so women are still not constitutionally equal to men. So for that to if that passes, draft me, daddy. I'm ready to go.
So when you say women aren't constitutionally equal to men, and you mentioned the Equal Rights Amendment, what do you mean?
The Equal Rights Amendment.
Well, assume there's a panel here who has no idea what that is. Assume there's viewers here who have no idea what that is.
The Equal Rights Amendment is actually...
Oh, let's have her answer.
Wow, I didn't think you wouldn't know what the Equal Rights Amendment is.
Well, did I say
it's just that it's just that you it would be an amendment to the Constitution that you can't discriminate on the basis of sex.
You mean the 19th Amendment?
Yeah. No.
No?
No, it would be the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment. You can't discriminate on the basis of sex.
What is the 19th Amendment?
I don't know what the 19th Amendment is.
No.
Do you want to tell me?
Okay, can you pull up the 19th Amendment so we can read it?
But so this amendment, it's not clear to me how, because you said, so currently women aren't constitutionally equal to men. So I suppose where in the Constitution would it indicate or show that they're not equal to men?
You have the 19th Amendment? Yep. Okay, pull it up. Right, the citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Mm-hmm. Meaning, you're equal to men when it comes to voting. And if you're equal to men when it comes to voting, then that means that you can elect whatever politician you want to enforce your will just like we can. Mm-hmm. Totally equal. So
then why didn't the Equal Rights Amendment pass?
Because it's not about equal rights, it's about redefining the word woman. It redefines the word woman from biological woman with XX chromosomes to anybody who wants to identify as a woman. Right. It is a change in the very definition of what we just have all agreed as a woman.
So this said there can be no discrimination based upon sex. There's
How
only
long has that been gone?
Even if you think a person can, whatever they identify as, they are that thing. Even the advocates for transgenderism would not say that they're the sex of. They would not say that they're the sex of. So a transgender female is not going to say that they have female genitalia. So the descriptor here for sex would work across the board for everybody.
Transgender female wouldn't say that she has female genitalia.
They would not say that they are females biologically. They would not say that they're biological. That's correct. They would say there's only two sexes. There's only two. There could only ever be two. One sex produces ova with large gametes. The other one produces sperm, which is small gametes.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's only two. Because there's only two reproductive pathways. Even the major transgender advocates do not say that there's more than two sexes. They say that there's hundreds of genders.
Okay.
But there's still only two sexes. So that amendment, the 19th Amendment, says based on sex, which would cover every human being who currently exists in the United States, not a one that would not cover, cannot be discriminated against based on sex when it comes to voting.
Did you read the Equal Rights Amendment?
Yeah.
Okay, so then how was this confusing?
What do you mean?
Like if you read the bill, then you would realize that like the point of the ERA is not to amend the 19th Amendment, but to pass legislation to change the definition of woman. So if you read it like...
Yeah, I'm for that.
Okay. But that doesn't. But why is women getting drafted contingent on whether you change the definition of
I
women?
just I don't understand why that's why would that be a difficult thing to pass? Like if the ERA is not a
Well,
thing.
that's two separate issues.
Is it?
Yeah.
But wasn't that a big topic that like Phyllis Schlafly was all about? Like if the ERA passes, women are going to be drafted.
Well, it would open the door to them being drafted, I suppose.
So the thing is the epitome of the straw man now, right? To create the arguments against people who never made them. So I most certainly never made such an argument. Brian most certainly never made such an argument. The argument that we're making is very specific.
Okay.
The argument is that if men can be drafted,
Sure.
right, and they can be, and they're forced to sign up for selective service, and they are, or else there's huge penalties against them.
Yeah.
If you truly believed in egalitarianism, why is it that you would not demand the same thing from women?
Because I don't think it's enough. I think that there needs to be more. I think that if it truly was equal, then the ERA should have passed no problem. And I think that
What would that have to do with women signing up, though, for the biological sex of female who's allowed to vote? Why is it that the biological sex of female?
I think we're getting into a different topic.
I don't think we
that-
are. Can we pull up the
Jive
19th
donated
again?
$200.
No,
And even under her goofy
there's
concept
a
of gender,
trans.
2020 SCOTUS opinion Bostock v. Clayton already prohibits discrimination on the basis of orientation and gender
That's true.
identity. Quit playing wannabe lawyer.
But we don't even have to get that far. So pull up the 19th again. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States by any state on account of sex. If that is true, then no human being inside the United States is going to not be able to vote, period, based on a sexual characteristic, period.
Okay.
So in your
But the equal rights
hold on.
is okay.
Hold on. So we can get into the Equal Rights Amendment component of this, but you said that women shouldn't be drafted because the Equal Rights Amendment still hasn't been passed, and women aren't constitutionally equal to men. That's the second claim. There is the claim
Right.
that I want to investigate. You said women aren't constitutionally equal to men. Can you articulate how?
Well, I found in my notes, the ERA's equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the U.S. or by any state on the basis of sex.
I'm actually willing to go with this.
Yeah.
I'm actually willing to engage with this. So you agree that this has to do with redefining what a woman is, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you think currently that transgender men have to sign up for selective service?
So are they assigned male or female at birth?
They're assigned female at birth.
And they transition to male
Yeah, even
Sure.
before they reach 18.
before they reached 18?
Mm-hmm.
If they're fully transitioned, then yeah, I would think so.
They don't.
Okay.
They do not have
Then
to
that should
sign up for
change.
the selective service.
Then that should change.
Okay, so what you have just demonstrated is that even if we're talking about the trans agenda, that trans men are also still not
Trans
equal with trans
men
women.
are
They're
men.
still not equal with trans women.
Because they're men. Trans men are men.
Hang on. If that's true, right, then how come they don't have to sign up for selective
They
service?
should have to because they're men.
Okay, they should have to.
Because they're men, yes.
So then, shouldn't trans women?
Trans women should what?
Shouldn't trans women, right? Shouldn't they be exempt under this?
Trans women shouldn't have to sign up
Yeah.
for yes.
Even though they're biologically males?
No, trans women are women.
Biologically male.
Trans women are women.
Yeah, but biologically they're
Trans
males.
women are women.
Yeah, but you're
They're
not saying
women.
anything.
I don't. You're not saying anything.
No, I
either.
am. I'm saying
they're
something very specific.
biologically whatever. They're women.
Okay, got it. So what you're saying here is that you think that trans men who are born female should have to sign up for the draft, but that the ones who are assigned male at birth,
Mm-hmm.
they should be exempt from the draft.
If they are transitioned to women,
Mm-hmm.
identify as women, yes.
Why do they have to transition? Why couldn't they just identify?
Then they're women. They're whatever point they are.
Mm-hmm.
If they're a woman, then they're a woman.
Then it's equal.
Great.
Then it's equal between all of it, right? Because in this case, then biological men, if they say they're women, they don't have to get drafted.
Sure, throw that Equal Rights Amendment up there, and we're all equal, and draft us all.
So I just want to make sure I get this right. Right now, you agree that nobody can be drafted. No, I mean, nobody can be barred from voting on the basis of sex.
Right.
Do you think there's a third sex?
No, I think that there are women and men. There's
Do you
trans
think
women
there's a
and men, but
third
there are
sex? How many sexes do you think there are?
I don't think that matters.
I think it matters. How many sexes do you think there are?
I think that this is like do you know any transgender people?
Yeah. How many sexes do you
do?
think there are? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that
Yeah, I
this is
can name-
harmful to their...
Whether it's okay, let's assume for a second that I don't think that transgender people don't understand that you can have a conversation about biological sex without going and unaliving themselves. I don't think.
No, it's not about
they're
that.
going
It's,
to do
it's
that.
that you set like a precedent
Of?
where, well, you set a precedent of like, violence where my friends don't feel safe going to like their places of work. Or
Yeah, but what would that have to do with whether they're
How is that
equal or
violence?
well, when you're saying like when you have these arguments that like don't like trans women are women, trans men are men.
Fine.
And when you break that down,
Even if I say
to-
that,
yeah,
nobody's going to dispute that there's only two sexes. If there's only two sexes,
Okay.
the 19th Amendment says that nobody can be denied the right to vote
Great,
via
okay.
sex.
Sure.
So all those trans people can vote.
right, okay,
So then what's the inequality issue here?
that's what I said. So draft them all.
So then you think everybody should get drafted?
Throw the Equal Rights Amendment up there.
No,
because
no.
if
Why
everybody's
do we
equal,
need the
then there
Equal
should
Rights
be no problem. If you know what? If there's no problem, and if we don't, like, we should have it then. Why is it
Wait,
such a
can-
big
can
deal?
I ask you- I think this word will sum this up
Okay.
perfectly. Redundancy. So, women already have, at least it's my position, are constitutionally equal to men. So even if
I don't think so.
Okay, but
What,
so you're
what are you
hold on.
asking
What do we
for?
not get?
What do we not
But-
get that you think we should get?
Bodily autonomy.
Okay, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But okay, so it's my view though that you're saying, well, we don't have this bill that is named and called and titled the Equal Rights Amendment, ergo we don't have equal rights because a bill that is titled the Equal Rights Amendment was not passed. But this bill, and I'm not super familiar with it. I'm not entirely sure if it is a redundancy, but the current state of affairs, the 19th Amendment, constitutionally, women are equal, but you made the claim women aren't constitutionally equal, so the burden is on you to articulate how women aren't constitutionally equal to men, and you cannot point to a bill just by virtue of the title of the bill, it not passing being evidence that women aren't constitutionally equal to men.
How is something called the Equal Rights Amendment not passing?
You can, okay,
I
the
feel like
title
2
of a
plus
bill,
2 equals-
hold on,
yeah.
the title of a bill is irrelevant.
Do you
It
think
might not-
Do you think that North Korea is really a republic? Because it's called the Republic of North Korea.
Okay.
It's a communist dictatorship, but it is called the Republic of North Korea.
Okay.
So that must be a republic then.
The Inflation Reduction
no.
Act only boosted inflation. so-
Okay.
But, okay, so the contents of a bill might oftentimes have nothing to do with the actual title.
Okay.
So you did make the claim, and women, that's separate from the Equal Rights Amendment, aren't constitutionally equal to men. So you're going to have to articulate how women aren't constitutionally equal to men.
I think that if they were, then the Equal Rights Amendment should have passed, no problem. That's all I have to say about the Equal Rights Amendment.
But-
that's it. That's all I have to say. I can't articulate more than that. That's my point.
But, I mean,
and
that-
then I also think that women would be able to have more bodily autonomy.
Okay, so we can get into that.
Okay.
Would you vote so that men couldn't vote on women's bodily autonomy?
Men couldn't vote. Like I don't understand in the context.
do you-
yeah, I
would
feel like it would be yes.
You would vote so that men couldn't
In
vote
what
on women's
context?
abortion.
yes, I would vote that way.
Okay, right. So that's the same reason that we vote that you don't have abortions.
But, okay, well, there you go.
It's just like that. If you would vote that we couldn't tell you that you couldn't,
Well, that's a
that
fair
in a
point.
democracy, that
Then
we could
I'm-
vote in a democracy to tell you you can't.
Correct.
See?
Sure, well, then I do think that's wrong. And I,
Well, okay.
So then
hold on.
voting's
Yeah.
wrong?
No, I think that I should backtrack my statement because I think that everybody should have bodily autonomy. So if you want to vote for my right to not have control over my body, I do think that's unfair.
Well, okay, hold on. You know, we're
And I
getting into
probably
it.
shouldn't vote for you to.
Not going to allow you to weasel out of this. So you can try to bring up abortion, but that's a different conversation.
argument, yeah.
So you stated, and women aren't constitutionally equal to men.
I don't think we are.
How?
You don't
I
think
don't
so?
understand how,
But that's
yeah.
what I'm asking.
I want to be
That's what I'm
convinced.
trying.
I want to be convinced.
Hold
to
on,
your
just let her
side.
answer. It's okay.
I remain unconvinced.
So
Okay.
you don't think we are. In what ways do you think you are not constitutionally equal?
I mean, I told you that I didn't think we were because the ERA didn't pass.
Oh, can you give us
But-
an example?
That's the example I gave.
Okay, so
If you don't like that one, then that's
No, I
fine.
mean,
you don't like it, then move
okay,
on.
but
Like a
hold on.
real-time example.
I gave you abortion.
Wait, wait,
Well,
hold on.
may I?
Hold on.
Because she explained what the bill was, but you never gave your explanation to what this means. So I keep wanting to know what do you mean this bill? Like, what is it to you? Like, what was denied? The right for trans men to be trans women and all of us to be the same thing? Because that's how she explained it. Is that it's to universal, like all of us, to make trans women women. That's what this bill is? Is that
No,
what it is
I mean,
to
like
you?
the definition of feminism is like to me, well, not even to me. It's literally the belief that women and men should be allowed to have the same rights,
Which we do.
And I feel like the Equal Rights Amendment says that.
So,
but
but
isn't
what
the
does it
19th just for voting?
But what I'm asking,
Yeah,
like, what does
well-
it
So
say?
why can't we have that for everything? If the 19th
have
is
it
just
for
for voting,
Yeah, we do.
So-
Actually, hang on. This is a great question, and I would like to answer your
Okay.
question. If you can name a single right that you think that this is not applicable to, meaning men have it and women don't, I'm all ears. You say that women can't do abortions, neither can men.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Do you mind if I have some time to think about
Sure.
that? Okay.
So wouldn't men be not as equal by not having a say in abortion as a woman does?
The man was there to make the
I mean,
baby.
it's both.
I
of
think
the-
that's a-
right. I'm just
While-
asking.
while
I'm just
she's
asking your opinion.
thinking,
I'm
while
just
she's
asking-
thinking,
it's not a debate. I'm
Nick,
just asking a question.
pull up the scroll up in the sources, the viewer count. All right, guys, there's 10,000 people watching on YouTube. Wow, big. And almost 2,000 over there on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, oh,
Jai Vanik donated $200. Ask her how she feels about Violence Against Women Acts. Federal
Interesting.
laws in the U.S. that increase penalties for violence against women but not men.
your thoughts?
Are you going to be mad if I make a generalization?
Nope.
Men are more violent than women.
It's not a generalization, that's a data point.
Yeah, that's gotcha.
One which I dispute, by the way.
Like the IPV rates? Yeah, the one directional IPV rates, yeah. Well, actually, really quick on that, I know it's kind of getting a little bit off topic. So, when it comes to romantic relationships, what about this data point? So, if we're looking at homosexual relationships, for example, so you have heterosexual relationships, gay men and lesbian women. They've actually found that, okay, hold on. Okay, we're fine.
You're good.
Sorry, guys, there's a little slip going. So, gay men have the lowest incidence rate of domestic violence. And then next up, in terms of couplings, you have heterosexual relationships. And then the highest incidence rate of domestic violence is actually in lesbian relationships. So, what are your takes on that? Like, how do you reconcile that?
That's
if
in
men are more
relationships.
violent, if men are more
That's
violent,
in relationships. That's not a whole.
but removing men from the picture entirely when there's two women in a relationship together and two men in a relationship together, the rates among gay men having domestic violence in those relationships is the lowest compared to both heterosexual relationships and lesbian relationships, and it's the highest in lesbian relationships even compared to heterosexual and gay male relationships.
I would almost argue that like it's unreported among gay males.
Wouldn't it
And
also
that's
be
like an
unreported
incorrect data point. Like
Then it-
for lesbian women?
I just think it's no, because I think that like women would be more likely to report something like that, and I think that it
Inside of
wouldn't be-
your list of fallacies,
Yes.
did you write down the argument from incredulity?
No,
You did not write down the argument
no,
from
Purdue didn't
incredulity.
have that one.
Yeah, it's not really an argument to say, well, I can't demonstrate this, but I just think that X is probably
Sure,
true.
okay, that's fair, but
Yeah.
I also don't think that equating what's happening in a relationship is the same as like what like men being like more violent overall.
But this was in context of this domestic violence
Is
thing.
that what like the law is about? The violence against women?
Violence against women, yeah.
So that's a domestic. That's
I believe,
a law.
I believe it's
But,
about
but don't
domestic
you guys like
violence.
stand on the point that men are stronger than women?
Yeah.
So like
has nothing to do
wouldn't
with
that
violence,
be a
though.
thing?
It wouldn't
like,
mean that they're more
Isn't
violent.
that don't you want to protect like women
It
against
doesn't
the
make you more
strong men?
violent just because you're stronger.
I would think that isn't.
For
like-
instance, there's going to be women who are stronger than other women, right?
Sure.
Would you then infer that that would mean that women who are stronger than other women would just be more violent because they're stronger?
No, but I think that I think that testosterone makes men more violent.
Okay, but there's going to be higher rates of testosterone in stronger women than less strong women.
Okay.
So, I mean,
so
this
then, yeah,
inference-
if they would have more testosterone, then they would be more violent. Yeah.
You think that testosterone is only going... So your inference is that testosterone equals violence?
I think that it can. Yeah, I think that
So
there's
okay. So can estrogen. Estrogen can cause...
estrogen's a bitch. Yeah, she's not
Nick,
great.
really quick. Okay, guys, really quick before we get back into it, have you had some time to think about what rights?
No.
So what rights do women have that men don't? I'll give you a bit more time to think about it. Nick, can you pull up the view count really quick? Guys, there's 10,000 of you, about 10,000 of you watching on YouTube, 1672 watching on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you have one. Twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you have one. It's been 1 minute since we last got a Prime, so I think it might have been like rebugged since a minute ago. So if you have a Prime sub, can you do a little test in the chat? And thank you. Oh, Brian is gross. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Brian is gross. Appreciate it. Thank you. Call me Kyle. Guys, twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you have one. If you're watching on YouTube, open up another tab. Watching on Twitch, just drop us a follow. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And then we do have a super chat here from Matthew Shrek. Oh, can you hide that? Yep. All right, Matthew Shrek. Plain and simple, are we equal or not? Should all people, men, women, trans, etc., be held up to same standards and responsibilities? Thank you, Matthew Shrek. Are we equal or are we not?
I will concede on the fact that I can't give you more evidence, but I don't believe that we are equal right now. So I apologize that I did not come more prepared.
Well, you don't need to articulate every single way in which you believe women are unequal. I would like to hear maybe one or two, though. I don't know if that's too much of an ask.
I don't think that we are, just in like societal ways.
But hold on, I don't know if this is considered
Well, that's the thing is like
shifting the goalposts or
okay.
Mon Bailey.
So
Not
what do you
Mon Bailey?
want?
Because your original claim was not societally; it was rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
then
you said
I
women aren't
said-
constitutionally equal to men.
Yeah.
And I think that's even different. I think that's a higher
So the
threshold.
19th Amendment applies to
Let me just
voting.
finish. Let me just
Yeah.
finish. I think aren't constitutionally equal to men is actually going to be a higher threshold for you to prove than just rights. But so I'm even
Okay.
willing to go
Yeah.
down to just speaking about rights. So what rights do men have that
well,
women?
maybe we could talk about like constitutionally then, because like I told you, I don't have the rights. I'm not more prepared, and I'm very sorry about that. Actually, I shouldn't be sorry. I'm just not more prepared.
But it's your claim.
Okay. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying is like I don't have that
But
information. I didn't.
that's a really massive claim to make, that
Okay.
men have more rights.
I did not say that. I said men are not or women are not constitutionally equal to men. I
Okay.
believe that because the ERA is passed. You disagree with that point.
But I've tried to articulate that.
Well, I think that's
like,
fair. What
yeah,
about the
that's
ERA? What about the ERA will make women equal to men?
It passing.
Yeah, but what
She just
What
it- it's-
define it?
Wait,
Define
what,
it
can I ask you a
as
question?
voting.
Wait, can I ask you a
Yeah.
question? If there was
What will it give
nothing,
us?
if there was nothing in the bill, and the title of the bill was purely Equal Rights Amendment, and there's just nothing
And
in the
women
actual
are
bill,
equal to men in the Constitution, and that's all it said. Yeah, great, pass it. That's what I'm saying.
But you're still not saying what you feel like you're.
Why it didn't pass? Like why?
Because it was political, and the name does not mean that that is what is inside of it. That's what this person was trying to bring up in the super
Okay.
chat about the Violence Against Women Act actually not protecting women. It's just a name. If you're involved in politics, if you follow this for a long time, you know that they pass these bills and they put these bills up solely that so Democrats can look at you, if you're a Republican, and say, Republicans don't believe in equal rights for women. And then people
Okay.
believe it.
Okay.
So don't believe it.
If
I
the
don't
issue
know.
is societal too, what is like just passing a bill going to do? If it's like a societal norm issue,
I think
maybe.
I think it starts at those, like at those base levels.
Yeah, but how does that change your day-to-day
view.
life? And
What do
Wait,
you-
I actually have a question on this. If the ERA was passed, what tangible changes would occur?
I think, isn't it true that like if the ERA passed, Roe versus Wade would have been protected more? So
What does that have to do with rights between men and women?
isn't that
Men-
a right to bodily autonomy?
Yeah, men have no reproductive rights, so you can't make this comparison. Men don't have a right to an abortion, or they don't have a right to prevent women from getting an
I
abortion.
don't know. My dad had to sign off on my mom getting her tubes tied.
This is a
That's a
feminist trope I
right.
hear about. I don't know
It's
if there's
not a
any
trope, it
validity-
actually
I don't know if there's
happened.
actually any validity to doctors requiring a spouse to consent to these things. Perhaps in years past, I have no idea if this is still
It's
a common
crazy,
practice.
too.
It
when
is
men-
more considerably harder to get your tubes tied than for a man to get a
Well,
vasectomy,
that's
though.
hold on.
No, my
That's
mom- my
because-
dad had
hold
to
on. That has
sign a
nothing-
paper.
Hold on. Wait, that has nothing to do with the consent of the spouse. Getting your tubes tied is a far more invasive procedure than a vasectomy. To start there.
They
And by the way-
they do often ask about spouse. They do often ask children, and they do play that.
I've
into a
heard stories
factor,
from
but-
men all over the country that when they went in to get a vasectomy, that the doctor demanded that they come in and do counseling first with their wife before they made the decision to have the vasectomy.
I don't think that's correct.
Well, right. So this is the thing. I don't think that it's correct to say that your dad had to sign off on the tube tying either.
I'm saying that it happened, but it shouldn't have. It should
Yeah,
not
I'm not
be a
sure
thing.
that it did happen. If we're just using
Okay,
infidelity,
well, if you're just
then we're
going to
just
call
gonna
me
use
a liar, then I
infidelity.
can just go around the table and call y'all liars all night.
Okay,
Well,
so
but that's why we don't use an argument from incredulity. If you say to me, I don't think.
What
that-
about an argument
I
from
don't-
experience?
I don't think that happens. If you say to me, I don't think that happens.
What
then
if it
stop,
actually
I'm
happened to
explaining.
me?
If it actually happens to you, that's different. But it didn't actually happen to you. It happened to someone else. But for you to say, I just simply don't think that that's true. If that you can assert that, then I just assert it about everything you say. Yeah, but I just don't think that that's true. Yeah, but I just don't think that that's true. Right? That's why you don't make assertions or claims unless you can either logically demonstrate them, empirically demonstrate them, or in some way demonstrate them.
So the evidence. Would you like me to like get the paperwork or
Okay,
something?
That would be evidence.
Okay.
I have to move it off of the
Right.
tube tying thing.
That's what I'm-
But back
right.
to this. So if the ERA was passed, what would be the sort of tangible results when it came to the equality that women could expect to receive that they don't currently have, that you can't articulate?
I think that I said that Roe versus Wade would have been more protected.
That's not true.
Well, then I like I said, I
But this is why I asked
told
if
you
you
I
read
don't
the
know.
bill.
I
Chrissy, do you know if in the ERA there's anything in there that has anything to do with abortion rights?
I think that
Yes.
she's referencing like making abortion legal at a federal level, but
Yes,
okay,
that's
but Roe
exactly,
versus Wade,
yeah.
that's not what Roe
Okay,
versus
yes,
Wade is.
That's
This
what
is-
it is then. Yes,
Yeah.
abortion would be legal at a federal level. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So, aside from abortion, which it's not clear to me if that has really anything to do with a comparative analysis of rights between men and women, can you give me anything else that would tangibly change if the ERA was passed for women?
No.
Okay. So then, is that a checkmate?
That's it, yeah. There's
Yeah.
nowhere to go with
All right, Navy Darkstar, thank you for the gifted 10 subs. Yeah, I'm still a little confused, I guess. But
This is called an AFF.
you know what?
It's my own coined fallacy. It's called an argument from feelings.
You know what? I can actually think of one
Isn't
way.
it a bleeding heart liberal?
Well, I mean, look, I've debated with a lot of liberals and a lot of progressives. There's a lot of smart liberals. There's a lot of smart progressives who don't make arguments from their feelings.
Okay.
And they're brutal to have drag-out debates with. They're super smart. They're really well-informed. That is not what this was.
Okay.
I can actually think of one right that men have that women don't, although this is geographically specific because in some jurisdictions it actually is allowed. But men can go out into public shirtless, and in some areas women can't.
Okay.
Aside from that, and again, it's jurisdiction specific. In some municipalities and cities, women can go shirtless. Can't really think of really any right that men have that women don't.
Okay.
But no, that would even be a wrong example because that wouldn't be a right. That would just go to the federal government not saying whether or not people can walk around nude or not, leaving it up in the 10th Amendment to the states. And so the states allow their municipalities to govern themselves. Some municipalities say that women can do this, some don't. Still wouldn't have anything to do with the right.
Well, in some municipalities, women wouldn't have the right.
That's not a right, though. That's just that's ordinance, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, it's left up to the states, but there's no rights which are being actually violated.
But I mean, if it's pushed back to municipalities in the states, and overwhelmingly most municipalities and jurisdictions preclude women from going topless, wouldn't it, I mean, effectively in practice?
No, it would be like a stop sign law. It would be like it would just be a law like this. It would be you got to wear shoes or no shirt, no service, or something
Sure.
like that. It would be an ordinance. That would not be a right.
Well, in any
So
case,
in other words, there's no right defined that men can walk around with their shirt off. There's no right
Nothing-
defined that
yeah.
women cannot walk around with their shirt off. There's local ordinances which prevent this. These aren't inalienable rights.
Right, it's not
There's
in
no
the
inalienable
Constitution.
right to walk around nude, right?
yeah. And in further, just, I mean, are you familiar with the legal term de minimis? Mm-hmm. So it's such I would consider it a fairly minor, at least in the scale of what, when people typically have conversations about rights, this one would occur to me to be
Who
fairly
would care
minor.
anyway? You think that if they wanted to pass a constitutional amendment that women could walk around topless, that any fucking men would object? No. Nobody's going to object
Sign
to
me
it.
up.
They're not objecting
I'll
to
advocate
that.
for that shit.
And there's
Okay.
no women out there advocating for that. So it's like, even that would just be a really poor example, ultimately.
We have Brian Rookard. Women are already protected. The 14th Amendment already provides equal protection. Married Women's Property Acts were passed in 1839, and then thereafter, Equal Pay Act passed in 1963. Fair Housing Act prevents discrimination in housing on basis of sex.
So this is like...
Thank
when
you, Brian.
when
Good name.
When you're thinking about immutable characteristics, basically the law at the constitutional level has been completely changed so that people with immutable characteristics are protected via those immutable characteristics. That would be sex, that's race, all of that. Right?
And gender now, because of Bostock.
Yeah, these are things that are unchanging. So, well, except maybe that one, but actually immutable, right? And you can't change them. The Constitution has compensated for all of those. So you're not allowed to, you can't say you can't vote because you're black, can't say you can't vote because you're white, can't say you can't vote because you're female, can't say you can't vote because you're male, can't tell you can't own a gun because you're black, can't tell you can't own a gun because you're white, can't tell you can't have freedom of speech because of these things. So all of these across the board is protected.
Yeah.
2 chats here coming in. We have Giovanni C. Based blonde blue shirt. Bonus points for not butchering your baby. God bless. All right. Thank you, Giovanni. Appreciate it.
Wait,
And then we do have SS Salwoff coming in. Thank you. Thank you, man, for the TTS, or not the TTS, the Streamlabs message. Howdy, long-time listener, first-time donator. Hey, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Why do all the trouble guests sit in that spot? Question for the panel. If Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? Are you able to scoot into the table just a little bit? Yes.
So, what's the question?
let me say this really quick. I have obviously bitten off more than I can chew.
No, you're good.
No.
Oh, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. You're a legend. You're a
Thank
legend.
you.
You came in guns blazing. You're doing great.
I tried. No, I really do appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Wait, we got to get through at least all your notes.
No.
Hold on. Just stay we'll get through your
No,
notes.
I
will fast track.
Can you at least leave the booze?
I'm leaving the booze. That's for you guys. No, I really appreciate
I feel like
you
that's a
having me
reasonable
on.
contribution.
Yeah, I appreciate
Wait,
you
let me
having
at least
on.
fast track.
I
Hold
gotta
on.
go.
You got to go
Can
because.
can this be a respectful quit? Like, thank you for everything.
Wait. You can't just
I'm
leave.
I'm not crying. I'm tired. That's
You're
why.
tired?
Yeah, I've been up since like 3 a.m.
Okay, but at least, look, you provided a lot of notes. Tell you what, I will.
That's why I'm getting emotional.
Hold on.
Like,
I will fast
respectfully,
track.
This has been really great.
No,
I'm not
listen, but
crying.
at least hear the offer. You got to at least hear the offer.
Respectfully,
I will
thank you
fast
so
track.
much.
I will fast track your
It's not a
notes.
rage quit.
I will fast. You said it was a rage quit.
It's not.
I think it was a rage quit.
Thank you so much.
I think it was a
for
rage
having
quit.
me
I
here.
think you can't defend your worldview. You can't defend your worldview. I think you're a coward, to be honest. I think it's cowardly for you to quit because you've been absolutely demolished by Andrew.
But leave the booze.
You did a great job, Andrew. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thanks.
You're not going to defend all your other things
Message me
here.
when you become a conservative.
Snowflake. Imagine.
Yes, she left the booze.
Total. I mean, I typically wouldn't revert to.
Oh yeah, the notes would have been cool.
There was like 80 of them. 80 pages of them. We didn't go
I like
in.
reading.
Yeah, leave the notes. At least leave the notes so we can look at them. Look, I mean, she provided a lot of notes.
Liberals get angry and get called out.
I mean,
on
this
the
is.
points of
I mean,
being wrong.
she said that women don't have equal rights under the Constitution. Using a different sense of the word Constitution, it's a very weak Constitution to not be able to have a conversation without just shutting down every single time.
By the way, the
somebody-
TPUSA girl wrecked her worse than I did.
What'd you say?
Yeah. Next, if I can give it to you over there.
I don't understand
okay.
the point of coming on the podcast if you know what you're
Guns
getting
blazing.
into and then you're just gonna leave.
She said she was coming in guns blazing.
80
but
pages.
Shut down multiple conversations the moment that she got a little bit outclassed conversationally.
We
But
couldn't
can we
talk
look
about
on the bright
Constitution.
side?
We couldn't talk
She took
about
up a lot of space on that
what
side
we
of the
look
table,
like.
and now
we
there's
couldn't
room.
talk about
I
anything.
was just gonna say.
You can't rate yourself. You
Lot
can't
of
do
space.
anything. Everything. So
And now there's space over there.
But yeah, she's feminist.
Conversationally.
Yeah,
Right?
Conversationally.
Yeah, conversationally.
Yeah.
Dinner, you can definitely.
Okay, so we're gonna, we will move you guys a little bit here. So
Just figured.
I think, why don't we
I
like,
appreciate the tequila though.
yeah, I think honestly, easiest thing, we'll just have you get out of your seat, you in the middle, and you'll just take that seat right there, I think. Actually, here, let me have you scoot over one, and then we'll put you in that seat. We'll do that. All right, sorry guys, we're just playing musical chairs here. Guys, the only reason I pushed back and I wanted her to stay is she had a bunch of notes, other notes I wanted to get into. Just kind of unfortunate. Oh, by the way, guys, we are, I guess, we are gonna. Nick, you good back there? Nick? They're still dealing with her? Okay, I don't know.
I'm like,
Hey,
is
yeah.
he gonna be okay?
Yeah, that'll be okay.
Yeah, that'll be fine. She had a lot of other. I mean, I can just read the notes really quick for those who are curious.
Yeah, I'm interested.
We won't get into it since she's not here, but I'll just read them. Charlie Kirk keeps saying that's not relevant. She did say she'd love to take on this little uneducated turd, aka Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is a friend of the podcast, by
I
the
love
way.
Charlie Kirk.
Rude. I will defend Charlie Kirk.
Great.
AB check. Thank you. Appreciate it. We have. She also said, I also have a theory that every pro-life argument you can make can also be made for the outlawing of guns.
That's ridiculous.
I would have loved to have got it. That's why I was pushing hard for her to stay, so we could have got into the pro-life arguments can be made about out
The
loud.
life of a gun starts at conception.
Indeed.
Are they
I
already
love
going
it.
down the stairs?
When the gun, when a little colt is in the womb, anyways, when a little Smith & Wesson, a little baby Smith & Wesson, it's a fetal Smith & Wesson. It's not fully,
Not developed yet.
it's not fully, not a fully
fully
developed.
cocked.
It can't survive outside the womb.